Alright guys, today we're going to be working on lesson 85. I've decided I'm just going to do the rest of these lessons with you as much as I can. And if you follow along, I'm going to give you every single answer. We're going to start with 1A. Which student has read exactly twice as many books as J? J has read 4 books, and twice as many would be multiplying by 2. So if we find the product of 4 times 2, which is 8, and find the person that read 8 books, we find that Ruby is the answer. So you need to choose Ruby, who has read 8 books. 1B, which says 1A again, I'm sorry. Shidoshi's goal is to read 10 books. How many more books does he need to read to reach his goal? So if he wants to read 10 and has already read 6, if we find the difference in those two numbers, that is our answer. To find the difference in two numbers, you subtract. 10 minus 6 is 4. So for 1B, you need to choose the number 4. Your Google Forms are set to shuffle the answers, so don't just write A, B, C. Make sure you write down the answer, or you could pull it up to the side like I have done right here and select them as we go. Alright, moving on to 1C. If the books Annie has read have an average of 160 pages, how many pages has she read? So if we multiply the number of books she has read, which is 9, and the number of pages, which is 160, and we multiply them because she's read 160 pages 9 times, that will give us our answer. And 9 times 0 is 0. 6 times 9 is 54, carrier 5. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 5 is 14. So she has read 1,440 pages. Number 2. Dala saw some pentagons. The pentagons had a total of 100 sides. How many pentagons did Dala see? So to find this answer, you divide by 5 because pentagons have 5 sides. If she saw 100 sides, then we need to divide by the number of sides a pentagon has. 5 will not go into 1. You cannot fit 5 cars in a 1-car garage. But now, if you go to the 2-digit number 10, 5 goes into 10 2 times. 2 times 5 is 10. Subtract, and you get 0. Now, 5 times 2 is 10. We are dividing 100 by 5. Bring down this 0. How many 5s go into 0? The answer is 0. 0 times 5 is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. We have no remainder. So she saw 20 pentagons. Number 3. Mariah bought a rectangular piece of land that was 3 miles long and 2 miles wide. 50% of the land could be farmed. How many square miles could be farmed? This is a 2-step problem. We're going to find the area and then divide it in half. Remember, area is length times width. So we have 3 times 2, which is equal to 6. 6 divided by 2. There are 3 2s and 6. Subtract, and there's no remainder. So she can farm 3 square miles. Number 3 is 3 square miles. On to number 4. Max bought 10 pencils for, that should say 24 cents each. I'll try to remember to fix that. I'll make a note. The tax was 14 cents. What is the total cost of the pencils? So first we're going to multiply 24 cents times 10. And if I remember, I showed you guys the trick of multiplying by a 10. You just bring that 0 down and put it in your answer, and then you're done with it. 4 times 1 is 4. 2 times 1 is 2. And when you're talking about money, you always have 2 decimal places. So Max paid $2.40 for the 10 pencils, but he also paid tax. So he has $2.40 plus 14 cents in tax. And if you add 0 and 4, you get 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. 2 plus nothing is 2. And you'll see that there's an option on there without a decimal point, but I don't think Max paid $254 for 10 pencils. Remember your decimal. Number 5, a pitcher of orange juice contains about how much juice? So think about a big bottle of soda you'd share with your family. Is that about 2 cups, 2 gallons, 2 liters, or 2 ounces? And whenever you buy a bottle of soda that you share at the store, it's called a 2 liter. So a pitcher of orange juice is probably about 2 liters. Number 6, we are skipping. 7A. 1/4 of 48 gems were rubies. How many were rubies? Be careful on some of these. They're asking you how many were not rubies. But here they are asking, what is 1/4 of 48? And you divide by the denominator. So we're dividing 48 by the denominator of 4. 4 will go into 4 one time. 1 times 4 is 4. Subtract, and you have 0. Bring down your 8. How many 4s are in 8? 2 times 4 is exactly 8. Subtract, you have no remainder. So 12 of the gems were rubies. Now, 7B is kind of what I warned you about. What percent of the gems were not rubies? So 1/4 is like having 1/4 out of 4, and that is 25%. But we want to know what percent was not a ruby. So 3/4, if you have 3/4, is 75%. 8A, 1,000 fans attended a game, but only 81 fans cheered for the visiting team. What fraction of the fans who attended the game cheered for the visiting team? So we have how many fans altogether? 1,000. And the fraction that we are looking for, 81 of them. So 81 thousandths is your answer. Make sure you have 3 zeros in your answer. There is one option that says 81 hundredths. That is not correct. 8B. Choose the decimal form of 81 thousandths. 81 thousandths. Make sure you remember your decimal place value. This is tenths, hundredths, thousandths. This is 81 thousandths. 9. We have a 2-step problem. We need to add what's in parentheses first and then subtract. Many of us are forgetting to do the second step, and you're only adding and then giving me that answer. So 0 plus 8 is 8. 2 plus 6 is also 8. Bring down your decimal. 0 plus 3. 1 plus nothing. So now I can take 46 and 1/100th minus 13 and 88 hundredths. Okay. I cannot take 8 from 1 or 8 from 0. I have to come over here, borrow from the 6. 6 becomes a 5. This 0 is going to become a 9. And this 1 is going to be 11. 11 minus 8, if you count up, 8, 9, 10, 11, you get 3. 9 minus 8 is 1. Bring down your decimal. 5 minus 3 is 2. 4 minus 1 is 3. 32 and 13/100ths. You can hear my puppy barking, I'm sorry. 728 plus some is equal to 1,205. You need to subtract to find what you are missing. Again, I'm going to have to borrow. I cannot take 8 from 5. I'm going to borrow from 20 this time. We've done that a little bit. 20 becomes 19. 5 becomes 15. Minus 8 is 7. 9 minus 2, 7 again. Here, I cannot take 7 from 1, but if I look at this, this is just the 2-digit number 11. It doesn't do me much good to borrow, so I'm just going to say 11 minus 7 is, I think that's 4. 477. C is equal to 477. 11. We have 36 times 10. Remember, you can just, whenever you're multiplying by 10, just put a 0 on there. But we haven't had much practice with letting our 0 hang over like that. So I decided to show you like this one more time. So anytime you have a 0 on the end of a 2-digit by 2-digit multiplication, you can let it overhang like this and just bring it down, put it in your answer, and mark it out. Then I can just say 36 times 1. 6 times 1 is 6, 3 times 1 is 3, and that's your answer, 360. You can do the same thing for 42 times 100. Oh, just a second. Yeah, there we go. I can bring down both these zeros, multiply 42 times 1, and I have 4,200. Number 13 is something a little bit different. We haven't done much like that at all. So there are a couple different ways to do this. The number of zeros that you have are the number of times that your decimal is going to move over. Oh, that's a 5. That's not pretty. So I have a 5. So my decimal is going to go from here, between the 2 and the 7, 3 places over. And in the number 2 and 75/100ths, I only have 2 places to move the decimal. So when that happens, you just add a place. And you can't just add any digit that you want. You have to add a 0. So now this number is 2,750. 14, $3.17 times 4. 7 times 4 is 28. 4 times 1 is 4. Plus 2 is 6. Bring down your decimal. 3 times 4 is 12. Make sure you have a dollar sign. Number 14 is $12.68. Make sure you have your decimal. 206 times 5. 6 times 5 is 30. Carry your 3. 5 times 0 is 0. Plus 3 is 3. 5 times 2 is 10. 1,030. 16. 37 times 40. Letting my 0 hang over that cliff, I just bring it down, mark it out. 7 times 4 is 28. 3 times 4 is 12. Plus 2 is 14. 1,480. Back to division. 492 divided by 3. 3 goes into 4 one time. 1 times 3 is 3. 4 minus 3 is 1. And then bring down your 9. How many 3s are in 19? What times 3 is almost 19? I think 6 is as close as you can get, which is 18. 9 minus 8, 1. Bring down your 2. 3 times what is 12? We do that one a lot. 3 times 4 is 12. We're subtracting to find out if we have a remainder. Nope. 12 minus 12 is 0. No remainder. The product, your answer is 164. Number 18, another division problem. 860 divided by 6. 6 will go into 8 one time. 1 times 6 is 6. 8 minus 6 is 2. Bring down the next digit, so 6. Now we're dividing 26 divided by 6. 6 times 4 is 24. Subtract. 6 minus 4 is 2. Bring down your 0. Oh, I think we might have a remainder this time. The closest I can get to 20 multiplying by 6 is 18, and that is a result of 6 times 3. So 20 minus 18, 18, 19, 20. I have 143 remainder 2. 18. I don't see that on there. Let me make a note of that too. I'll make sure that's on there whenever you guys are ready to do that. $9.30 divided by 6 is going to be how you find and isolate the variable. 6 will go into 9 one time. 1 times 6 is 6. 9 minus 6 is 3. Bring down your 3, but also go ahead, put this decimal up here. 6 times what is 30? 6 times 5 is 30. I still have 3 left over. Bring down your 0. We just did 6 times 5 is 30. I have no remainder. So the answer is $1.55. Make sure you put your decimal directly above where it was in the problem to get the correct answer. 168 divided by 8. 8 will not go into 1, but it will go into 16. 2 times 8 is 16. None left over. Bring down your 8. 1 times 8 is 8 with no remainder. 21 is your answer with no remainder. 20 divided by 8, and we're talking about dollars. So make sure you you could go ahead right now and put that decimal on the stage. How many 8s are in 20? I think we can only get 2. 2 times 8 is 16. 20 minus 16 is 4. Bring down your 0. 8 times what is 40? 8 times 5 is 40. We still have another 0 to bring down. And what do you do whenever you have 2 zeros down here? How many? You just divide it, just like it's anything else. How many 8s go into 0? 0 8s go into 0. 0 times 8 is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. So your answer is $2.50. 22. 1,600 divided by 4. How many 4s go into 16? They go in there perfectly. 4 times 4 is 16. 0 left over. There's going to be lots of zeros here. Bring down a 0. Remember, just pretend that's any regular number. 4 goes into 0 0 times. 0 times 4 is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. Bring down your 0. How many 4s are in 0? 0. 0 times 4 is 0. 0 left over. It's important to just go ahead and keep the pattern on things like this, because if you don't, you might forget and you might say 1,600 divided by 4 is 40. It's not. It's 400. It's important to, even though this part seems silly, it's important to just keep the pattern and just do it as you would any other problem. 23. Find the perimeter and area of a rectangle that is 10 feet by 6 feet. So area is length times width. 10 times 6 is 60. And that would be square feet. And the perimeter would be 2 of the lengths, because there are 2 of them, and 2 of the widths. 20 plus 12 is 32 feet. 24. Which letter in happy has 2 lines of symmetry? Remember, lines of symmetry are where it's exactly the same on both sides. If you have a heart and you fold it in half, it should be the exact same on both sides. So the letter H in happy, you could fold it down the middle, or what we call like a hamburger bun, and you would still have a perfect, exactly the same on both sides. So the answer to 24 is the letter H. 25. I'm going to have to look in my book. I need to put a picture of that in yours. On number 25. Oh, I'm on lesson 84. Which angle in the figure on page 599 could be 135 degrees? So what you're looking for is an obtuse angle. If you see an acute angle, it's not going to be 135 degrees. So we're looking at angle D. Angle D is obtuse. 26, we're skipping. 27A, which formula represents the relationship? And even if you weren't looking at the chart on page 599, you know that if you have meters times something, it equals the number of centimeters something would be. If I am 2 meters tall, I can multiply that times 100 and say that I am 200 centimeters tall. So that relationship would be the number of meters times 100 equals centimeters. 27B, you can use that formula to find how many centimeters are in 10 meters times 100 equals 1,000 centimeters. 28. Dodge City, Kansas, the average maximum temperature is 41 degrees Fahrenheit. The average minimum temperature is 19 degrees Fahrenheit. Find the difference. We're subtracting 41 from 19 from 41. 4 becomes a 3. This is 11 minus 9 is 2. 3 minus 1 is 2. And we have 22 degrees Fahrenheit. 29, they give you all kinds of information that isn't really necessary. The Peace River is 1,210 miles long, and its source is in British Columbia. You don't need to know that. The Red River is 1,290 miles long, and its source is in New Mexico. Which river is longer? We're just comparing these two numbers, and they want you to give the answer in words. So 1,200, the first two digits of these numbers are exactly the same. Now we have 9 compared to 1. Which is bigger, 9 or 1? Put your symbol in there. The Red River is the longest. All right, guys. I will do my best to get your Google form looking better than it did here. Fix those problems. Let me know if you have any questions. And stay safe, and I miss you. Bye-bye.